This is an iHeart podcast.
Democrats say that they care a lot about lowering healthcare costs. They talk about doing something. They don't actually do the hard work of making it happen. What they have done instead is to shut down the government because we won't give billions of dollars to healthcare funding for illegal aliens. That is what is actually happening.
You're listening to the 47 Morning Update with Ben Ferguson.
Good Thursday morning. Nice to have you with us on the 47 Morning Update. And there's one big story. It's the government shutdown. But the politics behind it, well, Democrats are really lying now, talking about how this is somehow the Trump shutdown. They're also now lying about their demands for that $1.5 trillion in government waste. So what's happening at this moment? We've got the update with everything you need to know. But before I get to that, I want to talk to you about my friends at Kirk Elliott Precious Metals. 2 days ago, I got my new order of silver. Now, I'm investing in silver right now because the pricing on it is amazing. And the upside, well, it's real. I actually have a 100-ounce silver bar. It is actually really cool. It's really heavy because it's 100 ounces. But I also know that I bought it at the right price, and I wasn't paying massive upcharges on, quote, rare or special coins. And then when you go to sell them, you take away all of your earning potential. Why do they do it this way at Kirk Elliott? Because they have transparent pricing up front. It's very simple. You pay 8% when you buy, and here's what matters to you the most. Nothing when you sell. There are no hidden fees ever with Kirk Elliott Precious Metals. This is the reason why I recommend them. It's not just about investing. It's about making sure you get more for your money. And that is exactly why Kirk Elliott helps people all the time. Whether it's gold or silver, you can hold it, be a good steward of it, you can pass it on to future generations, and you can build wealth with it. It's real bullion, never gimmicks, just investment grade gold and silver. No overpriced coins, no flashy markups. And it's a company that I love because they are a faith-driven company. There's no pressure, just honest care. They treat every client like family, offering honest answers up front to help you make wise, informed decisions. Now, if you're seeking a partner when it comes to gold and silver with an eternity mindset, visit KEPM.com/Ben. That's KEPM.com/Ben. You can also call them 720-605-3900. That's 720-605-3900. Let's faithfully steward what God has given so you can experience real peace now and for generations to come. KEPM.com/Ben. It's the 47 Morning Update, and it starts right now.
Story number one.
With a federal government partial shutdown, there is an opportunity for Donald Trump to do exactly what he promised during the campaign, to get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse of your tax dollars. Trump is now signaling layoffs and spending cuts that could become permanent. So yes, this shutdown could be a massive blessing in disguise for every American taxpayer. The federal government entering a partial shutdown early Wednesday because the Democrats, on purpose, failed to reach an agreement on a funding package, a clean CR. And President Trump suggested the standoff could open the door, he says, for big changes in the federal workforce. Senate lawmakers missed the deadline at midnight to approve a very simple budget for the fiscal year 2025. According now to Fox News, the short-term funding extension that passed the House earlier in September, keeping the government running through November the 21st, but bipartisan talks collapsed when the Democrats said, no, we want to hold you hostage, and we demand that you spend on things like health care for illegal immigrants. Now, in the hours leading up to the shutdown, President Trump made it very clear that while he did not want the government to close, he saw opportunities, quote unquote, in the crisis, saying, quote, we don't want it to shut down because we have the greatest period of time ever. I tell you, we have $17 trillion being invested. So the last person that wanted to shut down is us. He then added, now, with that being said, we can do things during the shutdown that are irreversible. that are bad for them, referring to Democrats, and irreversible by them, like cutting vast numbers of people out, cutting things that they like, cutting programs that they like, referring to the Democrats. Now, Trump has repeatedly warned and pushed to reduce the size of government and slash federal programs, he says, that waste your tax dollars. A shutdown does not grant new powers to the White House, but it does give the executive branch wide discretion over what services continue to operate. The standoff has turned into a battle of blame. Democrats going to TV saying this is all Trump's fault. But the problem is some Democrats didn't get the memo to lie. They told the truth that they are, in fact, shutting down the government. Democrats can accuse Republicans all they want of hijacking the process and falsely lying, claiming that they want to provide taxpayer-funded health benefits only for Americans. When it's in black and white, they wanted taxpayer-funded health benefits for all illegal immigrants. Chuck Schumer said Tuesday, quote, "They say that undocumented people are going to get these credits. That is absolutely false. This is one of the big lies that they're telling you." Well, you look at the Office of Budget Management, and they made it very clear the Democrats are spending massive amounts of money, if they got their way, on illegal immigrant health care. Which brings me to Speaker Johnson on the government shutdown, going back and reminding the American people of what really happened instead of the lies the Democrats and many in the media are telling. Take a listen to the Speaker on Fox News.
Members, then it's going to be hard to get this resolved.
All along, Republicans wanted to shut the government down.
Well, we do have the House Speaker with us here in the studio tonight. Let's welcome in Mike Johnson of Louisiana. Good to see you, sir. Thank you for taking the time. I know that you have been very busy today.
Busy day. Those clips are hilarious to me. The House did its job. The House Republicans did our job. It's been over 2 weeks. We passed that continuing resolution. It's clean. It's simple. It's 24 pages in length. We were simply trying to buy time. And this is really important for everybody to remember, John. The reason we're doing this is that the appropriators are trying to rebuild the muscle memory to do appropriations to spend taxpayer dollars responsibly. And that takes 12 separate approps bills. We were doing that, working through the process. We ran out of time. We need 7 more weeks. So we put a clean CR on the table, assuming that everybody, all the Democrats, would do the right thing. They've rejected it now 3 times as of today. The Senate Democrats, 44 of them, have voted that CR, the clean CR, down. And they proposed Chuck Schumer's version, which is a dirty CR. Why do we say that? Because he wants to add $1.5 trillion in new spending to a 7-week stopgap measure. And they want to give health care to illegal aliens, claw back the funds that we put in for rural hospitals and all sorts of other mayhem. We can't do that. We're just not going to do it.
You listen to Speaker Johnson. The House Republicans did our job passing the CR over 2 weeks ago, simply trying to buy time. The appropriators are trying to rebuild the muscle memory to do appropriations to spend taxpayers' dollars responsibly instead of irrationally and radical, which is what the Democrats wanted. And here is what the Speaker had to say about some of the money, including health care for illegals.
We're just not going to do it.
So this is the real point of contention here. I mean, obviously they want to restore some of the cuts that were enacted in the big, beautiful bill when it comes to Medicaid funding, et cetera. But Democrats insist our bill does not provide federal dollars for health care for illegal immigrants. And you say what?
I say they obviously have not read their bill. This counter proposal that he filed, everybody can Google it, go pull it up. It's on the Senate's website and in the legislative text. Go to page 57 of Chuck Schumer's bill and look at section 2141. It says right there in plain language they want to repeal the health provisions of the One Big Beautiful Bill.
I do part ways with you here on this idea of plain language.
Well, okay.
I read that whole section. It might as well be written in Mandarin.
And that's probably why the Democrats don't understand what they filed. But if you interpret that and you get through all the subsections, what you realize is they're trying to take out in its entirety the reforms that we put into the Big Beautiful Bill pertaining to health. And why is that so important? Because what we did was we strengthened the Medicaid program by making sure that ineligible recipients are not on the rolls. The CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, on August 25th published a letter and they said this is going to do exactly what Republicans said. They estimate that 2.3 million illegal recipients for Medicaid will be pushed off the rolls because of our reforms, and then it's going to save $185 billion of taxpayer funds. So they want to return all those ineligible people back to the rolls, and many of them are illegal aliens. That is a fact, and anybody who looks at it objectively has to say it's true.
I love how calm the speaker is on this. He's trying to make it clear that this is all about the Democrats trying to slander and attack the Republicans doing the responsible thing. Just to put it in perspective, there were 17 different times the Republicans did not shut down the government when they had an opportunity to do it, and instead went for a continuing resolution to make sure the government was open. When the guy by the name of Joe Biden was president of the United States of America, because Republicans understood that shutdowns are bad for the economy. Republicans understood that it was their job to protect the American people and also make sure that our government was functioning the right way.
The Democrats shut down the government because President Trump and the Republicans will not force American taxpayers to pay for free health care for illegal aliens. America is $37 trillion in debt. We cannot afford to provide taxpayer-funded free health care to illegals who broke the law to enter our country.
That is exactly why so many Americans decided to vote for Donald Trump.
Thank you for listening to the 47 Morning Update with Ben Ferguson. Please make sure you hit subscribe wherever you're listening to this podcast right now. And for more in-depth news, also subscribe to the Ben Ferguson Podcast, and we will see you back here tomorrow.
This is an iHeart podcast.